isn't it? But now it is time to make some money to maintain my family, of course. Let me see. Are there any shoes or sandals to be repaired? Wonderful, wonderful, very nice. Let me begin the repairing. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Narayan 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 Narayan. Narada Muni, what an incredible honor! Oh Naradaji, what incredible mercy that now I am seeing you! Oh, so wonderful! I could cry! Oh sage amongst the sages! Oh, somehow, by your mercy, I am now able to see you. I am so fortunate. How may I serve you? Maharaj, could I please inquire to know where you are going?
I just had a refreshing bath in the sacred river Ganga, and now I'm on my way to Calcutta.
You are going to Calcutta? Oh, how wonderful! Will you see Lord Narayan? Oh, such good fortune! Naraji, could you please ask Lord Narayan just one small question for me? I want to know how many lives it will take for me to have this audience.
I will.
Oh, thank you, Naraji. Thank you. Oh, I'm so honored. I'm so admired. It will probably take me millions of lifetimes. Hey, Muji, out of my way. Just to come back to the Mapuja, and I'll go once we contaminated. Oh, I'm so glad I'm not Brahmin. And not just any Brahmin, but one with a very aristocratic family lineage. Yes, I, Shastriji, Alavananda, Bhattacharya, Puri, Pakora Pandi, have undergone all Vedic Samskara ceremonies. I am very paka. I take 3 baths daily, and besides all my puja, I study all the scriptures. Rig Veda, Atharva Veda, Upanishad, Vedanta Sutra, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Reader's Digest. Yes, life is meant for acquiring knowledge to obtain the ultimate liberation, moksha. Now it's time for my puja. Om Kijvai Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, Om Manavai Namaha, Om Govindai Namaha, Om Visudhaya Namaha. I recognize you. Are you the Narada Muni? Oh, I have to ask you something, so please wait that till I'm finished with my puja. Om Madhusudhanaya Namaha, Om Trivikramaya Namaha, Om Vamanaya Namaha, Om Sridharaya Namaha, Om Yashikasaya Namaha, Om Atmanavaya Namaha, Om Bhutavaya Namaha, Om Asudevaya Namaha, Om Sakashanaya Namaha, Om Sudhanaya Namaha, Om Anandaya Namaha, Om Kudashitaya Namaha, Om Saksasvajaya Namaha, Om Sangaya Namaha, Om Chitanaya Namaha, Om Janamnaya Namaha, Om Pandutanaya Namaha, Om Raya Namaha, Om Krishnaya Namaha, Om Tadri Om Paramam Siddham Chandichu Yogi Fuchak Siddhatam Bhakti 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 Chitam Sasmiti Devi Vishnu Namaste Namaste. It is so nice to finally meet another exalted soul. Nothing is sweeter than Sangha, isn't it? I feel so curious to ask where you are going.
I'm on my way to my country to see Lord Narayan.
Acha! My dear Narayaji, could you do a little more humble Brahmin?
Is this the question you wanted to ask me?
Yes, most important question. My dear Narayaji, when you see a Lord in heaven, could you please get to asking when I'm going to go in moksha, liberation? Oh, thank you, thank you. You are too kind. Of course, I know that I will get my moksha in this very life. But I just want to know which day. That way I can prepare myself.
I just came from the planet Earth, my lord, where there are thousands of your devotees. They play musical instruments and dancing and singing your glories. They also distribute sacred food and transcendental literature. And in the coldest month of the year, they even have a transcendental competition in which some of them distribute more than 100 transcendental literature a day.
How glorious for coming in them, to be out in the streets, in the middle of winter.
If they are in the right consciousness, my lord, they will for sure experience transcendental happiness.
That's true, but still, it is a great sacrifice.
Indeed. Oh yes, my lord. When I was on the planet Earth, two persons requested me to ask you something. One was a Cobbler,
And the other the Brahmin?
oh, you know,
You can tell the Cobbler that he will have my darshan at the end of his life. And as for the Brahmin, he will have to take millions of births before he will get his liberation.
my lord, I don't understand. The Brahmin takes 3 baths a day, while the Cobbler is working with one all day.
When they ask you what I was doing when you came to see me, you can tell them I was threading an elephant through the eye of a needle.
Now where is that Cobbler? Oh, I can't wait to see his face when they tell him. But I hope I don't meet that.
Oh, Narayaji! I thought I loved you. Namaste. And have you been to Violet?
Yes,
Very good. And did you see Narayan?
yes.
Very nice, very nice. And when will be my moksha?
Actually,
No. Let me guess. Tomorrow? The day after tomorrow?
well,
I know. How nice. Today. What today?
well,
Next week? Next month?
well,
Oh, I know. What a nice surprise. You won't even understand.
well, actually,
What do you understand? On that festival? Dubai? Next year?
well, I'm sorry, but Lord Narayan told me that you still have to wait a few more months to get your moksha.
What did you say? When I, Halapananda Bhattacharya, Puri Pakora Pandit, not get my moksha in this life? That it is possible. I think 3 months daily, I am to have been invited at all? If you went there, tell me, what was Lord Narayan doing when you arrived?
Lord Narayan was threading an elephant through the eye of a needle.
An elephant through the eye of a needle? And you want me to believe it? Have you got a wire? I am Shastri, the Halamanana Bhattacharya Purimakora Pandit. To hear me? Pandit. I am not stupid. Actually, I begin to wonder whether you are Narada Muni. I know. You must be one of those Narada Muni lookalikes. An imposter. That's what you are. What am I doing? Hurting an elephant to the eye of a needle. Ridiculous. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya. Oh, Narada Muni ji. Oh, what great fortune to see you again. Oh, Narada ji, have you been to Calcutta?
Yes.
Oh, my good fortune that you have been to Calcutta and now you are here before me. Oh, Narada ji, could you please tell me what was my Lord doing when you arrived?
Lord Narayan was threading an elephant through the eye of a needle.
An elephant from the eye of a needle? Oh, how wonderful!
Don't you think it's a little strange?
A little strange? No. Why should I?
An elephant through the eye of a needle? Can you imagine this?
Of course. Why not?
My dear Narayanji, do you see this tiny little seed?
If it is possible for the Supreme Lord, my Lord, to grow such a huge tree within this tiny seed, then why is it not possible for him to thread an elephant through the eye of a needle?
Jai.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna. No. Response is not very good. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we were very fortunate that we had these Bhaktivedanta players to perform this wonderful drama. And I will introduce the devotees. So we start with the top personality, Lord Vishnu, that was played by our local devotee from Nairobi, Komita Prabhu. Then we had the great sage Narada Muni, was played by Sankirtan Priya Prabhu from UK. Then the Cobbler and Brahamin was played by Jaya Krishna Prabhu. And the humble Cobbler was played by Sriman Dwarkapuri Prabhu. So these are all wonderful devotees from long time. Dwarkapuri and Jaya Krishna and myself, we came to Krishna consciousness at the same time in 1979. And ever since we have dedicated our lives to reach the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as taught to us by Srila Prabhupada. So I will explain to you a little bit about the drama itself. Although the sound quality was not so good, so you may not be able to hear some of the dialogues, but nonetheless, at least through the action, you can kind of get the gist of what was presented to us. Om Jnana Trivandandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshud Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Namahom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasesa Sannavati Bhakshajadi Sadarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So it is a very important lesson we can learn in our lives. Of course, most of us are not very much attracted to reading the scriptures like the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. Many of these transcendental literatures which are presented to us for our deliverance by the Supreme Lord Himself through different arrangements. But we are so unfortunate that we have no time for these things, or we have no interest in these things. And therefore, because of lack of knowledge and guidance, we become lost in this material world. Now, this drama is very interesting because the drama itself is portraying a very important message to us. Srila Prabhupada said sometimes, because we are not very attracted to intellectual understanding of the scriptures, then we have to go a little bit downscale. And that is through dramas, plays. So, of course, when we ask the transcendental sage who wrote all this literature, he also mentions that in the age of Kali, we are so degraded and fallen that we cannot understand the scriptures so well. So we are attracted to the Ithihasas, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. So when we see the display of the Ramayana on big screen or small screen, or even the Mahabharata, we are very interested in watching that. But unfortunately, even though Ramayana and Mahabharata is nicely displayed in many episodes on television, of course in the 80s there was Ramanand Sagar presented Ramayana, there's B.R. Chopra presented the Mahabharata. We were watching all day. I don't know about here in Nairobi or Kenya or Mombasa, but in India every Saturday it was put on television. And generally on Saturday everybody is out buzzing around, but when the 1 hour show is put on TV, everybody is at home. The roads are quiet, no auto rickshaws, no cars, nothing. Everybody is stuck to the television screen, either watching Ramayana or Mahabharata. But unfortunately, after watching the Ramayana and Mahabharata, we don't learn any lessons. Because these are not just entertainment, these are life lessons. So in this particular drama which was presented today, we saw that there was a humble cobbler. He is just minding his own business, and of course, due to the corrupt understanding of the caste system, we look down upon the cobbler as the untouchable. But actually there is no such thing as untouchable in this world, because we are all children of the Supreme Lord. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mamai Vamsa Jiva Bhuta Jiva Sanatan. Krishna said, all living entities, whether human beings, animals, microbes, insects, trees, they are all jivas. And all these jivas are my part and parcel. So if we are all parts and parcel of the Supreme Lord, how can there be any untouchability? Of course, the different types of bodies we get is according to different karmas we have performed in our past lives, and that will decide what birth we take according to the elevation of our consciousness. If you have the higher consciousness, you will get the human birth. If you have lower consciousness, then you will go in the animal kingdom. And if you have the lowest consciousness, you will go into the plant kingdom. Nonetheless, everything has value in this world. Now just imagine today, all of a sudden tomorrow, by some catastrophe, all the plants trees are dead, what will you and I do? We will suffer, because by the very nature and activity of the plants and trees, they take all the carbon dioxide and produce oxygen. And oxygen is a vital force which we require to survive. If you don't get oxygen, what will happen? So we should be very, thankful to the plants also and respect them. Even though they have low consciousness, but they are very valuable for the survival of mankind. Nonetheless, we saw the cobbler, as I said, was very, looked down upon him as a degraded person. And when we need our shoes repaired, we go to the cobbler and say, hey, fix my shoes. But we don't show respect him. But can you imagine, without shoes, you're walking bare feet in the heat, the road gets very hot, what happens? You'll be suffering, cannot walk. And if you're walking on a path with thorns, without shoes, what will you do? So we should be very, very grateful that this cobbler is doing his job to protect our soft soles so that our feet are protected. But nonetheless, we look down upon him. But the cobbler, even though born of a low birth, in one sense we can say, he was always absorbed in chanting the name of the Lord. And because he was always chanting the name of the Lord, regardless of what occupation he is doing, has no meaning. Most important is that he has appreciation and love for the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Creator. And that is where the Supreme Lord becomes more happy with us. As we are following in this Kali Yuga now, the age of degradation, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as you can see in the middle also there, with his brother Nityananda Prabhu, they came and established the holy name. In the Sanskrit it says, Kali Kale Nama Rupa, Krishna Avatar. Then this day and age of Kali, Krishna has invented in his name, in the holy name. And the holy name, Srila Prabhupada explains, is so merciful that worshipping Radha Rupini Dwarkadesh or Sitaram or in Nairobi, Sri Radha Bhakti Bihari will get you some blessings and connection with the Supreme Lord. But the higher is to get the mercy is chanting the holy name of the Lord. Because the holy name is so accessible. Suppose you want to see the Lordships, you have to come at the appropriate time when the darshan is open. And then only you can see the Lord. But the holy name is so wonderful, any place, anywhere, any time, any state of being, clean or unclean, you can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. So Nam is so merciful that any place, any time, anywhere you can chant. You don't have to go to a particular place. So if you want to worship the Lord, you come to the temple. But for Nam, you can be anywhere. And the Nam will follow you and allow you to chant His holy name. And then through the name, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we will be associating with the Lord. So one of the principles we learn from this drama is that we have to show little humility in our hearts. Because if you have arrogance in the heart, thinking, I know everything, I am someone very important, then Krishna says, I have no time for you. Because Krishna says, anyone who comes with humility to me, then I will embrace them. See, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the transcendental personality of the Lord, when he came to this world 500 years ago, he was known in his childhood as Nimai Pandit. Pandit in India means one who is very learned in all the science of knowledge. Not one branch, but all science of knowledge. So Nimai Pandit at a young age, Mahaprabhu, was very well versed with everything. But he did not write any literature or books. And Lord Krishna, on the other hand, 5,000 years ago, he spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna to free him from his confusion. But here Lord Chaitanya gave 6 Sastikam prayers, 8 slokas. And one of the slokas says, Trinadapi Sunishana, Tarorapi Sunishana, Amanina Manidena Kirtanya Sadahari. If you want to chant the holy name with affection and love and get full blessings, then first is that you have to become humble. So when you are humble, then you are, because we have nothing. We think we have so much, sometimes knowledge, sometimes wealth. We think I have so much. But what is the value of your wealth and knowledge when you don't have the Supreme with you? Because at the end of the day, when you die, that knowledge, that wealth is not going to help you. So you have to be humble. Then next, Mahaprabhu saying, you have to become tolerant. And how is saying tolerant? You become tolerant like a tree. See, the tree is standing there in the rain, in the heat. Yeah, but the tree is not complaining. Then sometimes you cut the tree for wood, for cooking, tree is not complaining. And the season when the tree is giving fruits, you pluck the fruits and you eat, the tree is not complaining. So he is very tolerant of all these conditions. Then next, you have to be free from false ego, thinking I am very important, I am a human being, I am an upper caste, I am this caste, that caste, I come from this country and that country. All this is invaluable because it is useless. Now, the fourth thing Mahaprabhu said, Amanina, Mani Dena. Amanina, Mani Dena means one should give all respect to all others. Means we have to give respect to everyone without considering their status. But one should not expect any respect in return. Now we have in our experience, practical experience, if you show some respect to someone, what will happen? That person will automatically respect you. Even though we should be expecting, but he will respect. That is the way of moral upbringing in the society. Now of course, if that person doesn't have any morals, then he will not care. You may respect him so much, but because of his pride and arrogance, he will not value anything. But generally, that's okay. Mahaprabhu said, still we show respect to everyone. Why? Because we are not showing the respect to that individual as a person. We are showing the respect to two things. One is the Lord in his heart as Paramatma. So we are showing respect not to the arrogance of the person, but the Lord in the heart. Second, in that heart is that person himself as a jiva. Although that jiva is under illusion thinking he is something special due to material influences, but still the jiva is pure. This is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So we respect that. And when you have that type of understanding, then your chanting will have so much potency. It will be free from all anxiety. So we saw the cobbler. He asked Narad Muni with great reverence that I am so fortunate that you came to my humble dwellings. And I am so fortunate, I don't know what I have done to deserve this, but you have come to my humble dwellings. Although most people, they mistreat me because they consider me of low class and I am not worthy of being in the society. Even if they go past by me and my shadow touches them, they feel, oh, I am contaminated. So, but Narada Muni is such a transcendental personality. He is just as good as God because he is representing the Supreme Lord. And as a representative of the Supreme Lord, he has the same qualities and same outlook as the Supreme Lord. So he doesn't discriminate. So he said, yes, I'll come here and I was passing by, so I have no problems with your occupation. I am concerned with your heart. Because with your heart, you are chanting the holy name of the Lord. And Narada Muni is constantly chanting, we see, of course, in the Indian dramas and movies, projected as a funny joker. But Narada Muni is a very, very serious personality. And Narada Muni is always chanting the name of the Lord on his veena. And wherever the chanting of the holy name is happening, Narada Muni is attracted by the holy name. So he was attracted by the holy names of the Cobbler chanting. And he gave the Cobbler darshan. Now, of course, we know that when we get a darshan of a pure, saintly person, and we do not offend that person and doubt the greatness of that person, then our hearts will become pure. So the cobbler was quite happy, and in his humility he asked, I am very, very tired of this life, being mistreated, and I have so many problems, but I want to be delivered from this world. And of course, what is our old desire? At the end of the day, we want moksha. We want to be free from this birth, old age, disease, death. He said, please ask Lord Narayan that when he will give me this moksha. He said, Narayan said, fine, no problem. Then along the road, he meets this very arrogant, learned Brahman. Now, ideally, if you are a very learned person, then you have knowledge. And when you have knowledge, then you have higher understanding of seeing things in its right perspective. But here this arrogant Brahman is thinking that I am so knowledge, I am better than the whole universe. There is nobody better than me. I am performing all the yagyas and I am the most purest of pure person. And there is nobody like me in this universe. There is so much arrogance in his heart. Although his mantra chanting had no effect. Because after all, in a Vedic culture, when we perform sanskaras and we chant the mantras, and what is the mantras for? What is sanskaras for? The 16 sanskara, the 16 sanskaras we perform from Garbhadhan sanskara just before birth till last Agni sanskara when we die. 16 of major sanskaras. And according to Shastra, it's explained that these sanskaras are meant for our purification. So each sanskara, there is a purification process to purify the soul of the contamination of this material world. And then when we are free from all these things, then we achieve our pure status where we then connect with the Supreme Lord. So the Brahmana, of course, it didn't happen to him. He was still arrogant as ever. So then, with great arrogance, he's asking Narada that you're going to Vaikuntha is very good. You ask Lord Narayan, when I will get moksha. So Narada Muni said, yes, Brahmadev, I will also ask your question. I have no problems. It doesn't cost me a penny. So when Lord Narayan when Narada Muni goes to the Vaikuntha planet, Lord Narayan is sitting there in his exalted seat, and with great honor and respect, Narada Muni falls down at the feet of Lord Narayan, and then he raises, and then of course Lord Narayan knows that whenever Narada Muni comes, he usually brings some messages from the earthly planets. Not that Lord Narayan doesn't know. He knows everything what is happening in this whole universe, not only in this earth, entire cosmos. On a clear night when you see these millions of stars, each star is a universe in itself. And billions and billions of living entities living there. And the Lord knows everything because He is in the heart of everyone. But still, to show respect to Narada, and he's wondering, he says, so what news you bring? So, of course, he's explaining to Lord Narayan, I met this cobbler, he was very joyously chanting your holy names, he was absorbed in completely chanting, but his occupation is very humble and, not very highly regarded. So he is asking that, dear Lord, be kind upon him, give me a time scale when I will get moksha. So, Narayan said, yes, don't worry, he will come this very lifetime. When he dies, he will come to the Vaikuntha planet, he will come here, and he will become my eternal associate in the Vaikuntha planet. So Narada was why is Lord Narayan saying like that? The guy is a cobbler and he needs to do a lot of sanskara, a lot of purification to become on a higher consciousness. But actually, in reality, the cobbler had higher consciousness because he had appreciation for the holy name. And that's why he's chanting the Lord's name. Then, of course, Narada Muni doesn't question the decision of Lord Narayan. Then in case, when he asked what I was doing here, because normally they generally ask out of curiosity to know. Now, for a devotee, he is very much interested to know the pastimes of the Lord. What is the Lord engaging in? What kind of activities? And when we hear more and more wonderful transcendental activities of the Lord, we become so elated in our hearts because it connects us with the Supreme Lord and makes us happy. So of course then we ask, so he said, if the cobbler asks, just tell him, I was sitting here just blessing here, doing nothing, just putting elephants to the eye of a needle. Now of course, you live here in Iskcon Mombasa, your Savo National Park is just down the road. You see many elephants there. Can you possibly put an elephant to the eye of a needle? It's impossible. Even to put a thread, sometimes we are struggling. Or to put an elephant. But Lord Narayan is doing that. So Narada said, okay, no problem. Now there comes the question of the exalted Brahmana. Now, he surely must be coming very soon to you. And Lord Narayan says, for Brahmana, maybe 1,000 lifetimes. So Narada Muni again said, this learned Brahmana, he knows Shastra, he knows everything. Why is Lord Narayan saying 1,000 lifetimes? But again, he doesn't question him. So same question you tell him. Then what was I doing? I was threading an elephant to the eye of needle. So then Narada Muni takes leave from the Vaikuntha planet. He comes back again on the earthly planet and he's walking around and looks for the cobbler and says, "Hey cobbler, guess what? I have got the most wonderful news." And the cobbler was not interested in knowing whether he's going to get moksha or not. He was so eager to say, "Narada, since you come back from Vaikuntha, please tell me, what was Lord Narayan doing in Vaikuntha? I want to know about his activities and everything about Lord Narayan." He did not have any interest in moksha. He just wants to know the Lord. So of course, Narada Muni tells the cobbler all the wonderful activities Lord Narayan is doing in the Vaikuntha planet. And he said, one of the activities was he was just sitting there putting elephants to the eye of the needle. And the cobbler jumped up with joy. He said, "Wow, the Lord is so great. It's unbelievable what he can do." And then Narada says, "Wait a minute, cobbler. Calm down. Do you think it's possible to put an elephant through the eye of the needle?" Of course, in the play we saw that Narada Muni is asking the cobbler to just confirm that he understands what he's saying. So the cobbler, generally, I don't know here in Kenya, but in India, in the traditional sense, the cobblers usually sit under the banyan tree. And they lay out their thing and just sewing shoes and repairing shoes and whatever. So, a banyan tree has got a small tiny fruit, and in that tiny fruit there are thousands of small tiny seeds, even smaller than a mustard seed. Now you all ladies know mustard seeds, how small they are. So these seeds are even smaller than mustard seed. So cobbler picks up that and says, "They're tiny seeds. If the Lord by his potency can put this huge banyan tree in this small seed, then what is the difficulty of putting elephant to the eye of needle?" So now Narada understands, yes, this cobbler is not just a cobbler by his occupation, but in his heart and his mind and his intellect, he is the most knowledge because he understands the transcendental potency and what is possible for the Lord. And therefore he says that the Lord is known by the devotee and devotee knows the Lord. So the cobbler then is so much excited to hear what Lord Narayan is doing. Then finally, Narada says, "Let's come to the real question here. You asked me when you going to get moksha." He said, "This very lifetime, when you end this particular life, you will give up this material earthly body and your soul will be transferred into Vaikuntha." And he was with great joy saying, "Oh my Lord, he's so kind, so merciful," and glorifies the Lord. And then along he goes again down the road, and there is the Brahmana, and he sees Narada, says, "Oh, Narada, so you come back with arrogance. Instead of showing great respect and honor, and they're saying we are equals." Now can you imagine where the Brahmana on the earthly planet is and what is the position of Narada Muni? Narada Muni is so blessed by the Lord, by his previous life. We don't have time to go into that, but when Narada took his birth as Narada Muni, he was blessed that he can enter the spiritual world in his free will. He can come to the material world by free will. And when he comes to the material world by free will, he is not stuck here. He can go. Srila Prabhupada explains that you and I, we came to this material world by our free will. We told the Lord, "Lord, I want to have more enjoyment, independent enjoyment from you." The Lord said, "This is not possible here. You have to go to my other creation, which is material world." We were sent here. And when we are sent here, there's no question of us going back now, unless and until we follow the terms and conditions of the Supreme Lord. And the terms and condition is that we have to follow his teachings to free ourselves from this material world. And what is the teachings in the Bhagavad Gita? What does Krishna say in the 18th chapter to Arjuna? Sarva dharma pachyata mam ekam sharanam. Not many sharanams, just ekam sharanam. Then he says, aham tam sarva papi, we are free from everything. But can we give up all our dharmas? Of course, some people think, sarva dharma means all types of religion, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Jainism, Hinduism. No. Give up all varieties of occupations. Only one occupation. Worship the Supreme Lord. And how to worship the Supreme Lord? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Through the holy name of the Lord. So this Brahmana was so arrogant. And the first thing he, when he sees Narada, he just equates himself to the Narada Muni. He was like, we are equals. And he says, so you have come back from Vaikuntha. Come on, tell me now. What was the answer from Lord Narayan? When am I getting moksha? Narada Muni with hesitation says, maybe 1,000 lifetimes. Immediately anger comes. The Brahmana gets so angry. Now, a Brahmana, by quality, in the Bhagavad Gita in 1842, very clearly says, Savo, Dhamo, Tapo, Samsam. A Brahmana is very calm, very peaceful, very controlled. Where is the anger coming from? And this is a Brahmana who is learned. He's not very calm, he's not very peaceful. Anger is like right on the tip of his nose. And slightest agitation, he gets angry. So he doesn't have any Brahmanic quality. Just by wearing as Prabhupada said, 10 paisa thread doesn't make you Brahmana. Brahmana is by qualities. So of course, this is first disqualification of the Brahmana, anger. And then he's saying, you are a fake Narada. I doubt you that you have been to Vaikuntha. Anyhow, tell me what was Lord Narayan doing in the Vaikuntha planet? Very calmly Narada says, he was putting elephants to the eye of needle. Again the anger flared up. And the Brahmana is like, now I understand you are completely a fake person. You have never been to Vaikuntha. You are dressed like a Narada, but you are not the real Narada. And Narada says, as you like. I know who I am. Just by you telling me I am not Narada doesn't make me that I don't become Narada. I am who I am. Just because you may call me some by names and fake and this and that, doesn't mean I will become what you are saying. I am what I am. And I am telling you what Lord told me. Now, if you accept me, it's fine. If you don't accept it, that's your problem. And then Narada Muni went away. And then Brahmana was completely disturbed. So, this is the moral which we can learn from this drama, besides the entertainment and laughter, is that we have to take a very humble position and we have to follow the Yuga Dharma. The Yuga Dharma is Harinam Sankirtan. So in one of the songs of Narottam Das Thakur, it says, Goloka Prema Dhana, Harinam Sankirtan. That from Goloka, from the spiritual world, the Prema Dhana, the wealth of love, has come to this world in the form of Harinam Sankirtan. And that Harinam Sankirtan is that we constantly chant together the Hare Krishna mantra and Kirtan, or privately we chant Japa, the Hare Krishna mantra. Nonetheless, either way we are chanting Hare Krishna. And when we chant the holy name of the Lord, then our heart, which is a sitting place of the soul, becomes purified. Because as Prabhupada explains that through many lifetimes, we have accumulated so much dust. In other words, so many materialistic desires in the heart, there's never any ending in that. And because of these desires in the heart, we cannot see the Supreme Lord. So, by chanting, slowly and steadily, we take away layer by layer by layer. So those of you who are here, I'm sure you are chanting Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Sri Sri Sitaram Lakshman Bhagwan Ki Jai, Sri Sri Gaudijai Ki Jai. So, it's very clearly explained that when we chant Hare Krishna, all this heart becomes free from anarthas, all the dirty things come out. Now, when you are chanting the Hare Krishna mantra in your japa, you will see sometimes all kind of crazy desires and thoughts come in your mind. Because this is a general question is asked to the devotee who was giving class, and any questions. And yes, Swami, when I am chanting, I have all these problems. Of course, problems will come. Because it is all there, and the very process of chanting is to take it all out. Now, the secret is, when all these crazy thoughts come, what do? You don't contemplate on those thoughts. You take it out and throw it away. When you throw it away, it's gone. But if you still keep them and contemplate on it, then what happens? Those thoughts, which are undesirable, will make you more and more conditioned, and you won't be free from it. So the whole idea is that we purify our heart by chanting the holy name of the Lord. And when we do that, and then we become completely free from all contamination. And when you're free from all contamination, then we'll taste the actual, the real nectar. You know, you may have heard the statement, Nam Amrita. Nam Amrita means nectar. Nam is the holy name. So the nectar of the holy name, you begin to taste. And when you begin to taste the nectar of the holy name, then you'll forget all this material world. Even though this material world is looking very, very tasteful and colorful and very appreciative, but it has become very tasteless when you taste the real thing. That's why, as Krishna says, Param Drishta Nirvuttate. You taste the higher taste, then your desire for lower taste will go. But if you do not develop higher taste, then you will just hanker in the lower taste. And when you have the lower taste, what happens? The three modes of material nature, mode of ignorance, mode of passion, and mode of goodness. And yes, mode of goodness is also a material mode. It is not very good. Nobody should desire mode of goodness. But mode of goodness is a minimum qualification required. It's a stepping stone to transcend, to come to Visuddha Sattva, pure mode of goodness. Pure mode of goodness is beyond material nature. But even mode of goodness will entice you to do activities which are pious. But when you do pious deeds, what happens? You get pious results. Therefore, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita tells Arjuna, my dear Arjuna, neither do pious deeds nor impious deeds. In other words, don't do good things, don't do bad things, only do bhakti. And the beauty of bhakti is such that all those activities you normally do can be transformed into bhakti. Rupa Goswami says all you have to do is just add whatever activity is doing, connect it with Krishna. So when you connect your activities with Krishna, it becomes bhakti. Any activity minus Krishna is become mundane. So all you have to do is put Krishna in the activity. Just like, for example, all of us, in our here in the temple or in your own homes, wherever you are, you have to cook a meal. Now we all have to eat, because without eating, one day you can fast, 2 days you fast, and third day you will be hankering for food and you will eat anything you find without discrimination. But nonetheless, food is required for sustenance, so you cook. Now the choice is that food can be in mode of goodness, or mode of ignorance, or mode of passion, or it can become transcendental. So in other words, it can be material activity, cooking food and eating, or you cook very nice food with good consciousness, then put the foodstuff in front of the Lord and say, dear Lord, here is something very wonderful I have cooked for you, for your pleasure. Please accept this humble offering. And then offer it to the Lord. And the Lord, out of His kindness, accepts whatever you offer Him and then returns you back in transcendental prasadam form. So, activity is still the same, eating. But eating food is entanglement. Eating prasadam is purification and free from this. Now, it doesn't take a lot of a great nuclear science to do this. Just simply make very nice food and offer to Krishna. And then Krishna gives it back to you. And only the simple act of giving it to Krishna becomes transcendental bhakti. So in other words, everything we can try to see how we can relate this thing to bhakti and become completely free from this material contamination. And as we are progressing in our spiritual journey, day by day, we think that every day go past and then 1 year, oh, today is my birthday. I am now sweet 16. And you celebrate sweet 16. Then a few years later, guess what? I am a young person now. I am now 21. I am an adult, fully capable with all responsibilities, and the government gives me right to vote, and I can make my own decision. I don't have to depend on my parents telling me what to do. I am 21. But guess what? Bad news is that you have died 21 years. And then sometimes, when we grow a little older, I am 65. I am now officially a senior citizen. Bad news is you have died 65 years. There's nothing to celebrate. Why are you celebrating your death? We celebrate birth, not death. So, unfortunately, the material world is such that we celebrate our death every year, which is a sad thing. But the point is that every moment gone past, we should take it very seriously in our journey, because it's a life journey from birth till death. And the whole concept is that we make progress day by day year by year, till we come to the last day when the breath is, just struggling, and at that moment you say, Hare Krishna. Then that is the success. Otherwise, at the time of death, you are lying on the deathbed and thinking, Hare, my son just got married, and he has got a beautiful young son. Who will look after that? And then I have to get my grandson married, and yes, and that. And you are so worried about this thing, and death comes and takes you away. You know what happens? Yamaraj says, okay, this is what you were thinking about, go back again. So you come back again to the material world, take a bath, and then you go to your son's home saying, hey son, guess what, I'm back. The son says, who the hell are you? I don't recognize you. But don't you know I was your mother? No, my mother passed away. Yeah, but I come back again. No, you're not my mother. You don't recognize you. So what is the value of coming back again? Better just say, Krishna, this is my last birth. Let me go and come back to you. Because ultimately he is your real family. He is your father, he is your mother, he is your everything. And when in the spiritual world, you're free. So by mercy of Srila Prabhupada, he at the age of 70 left the comforts of Vrindavan. In our situation at the age of 70, what do we think? Finally, I can retire and go to some, my village in India and have my little bungalow there and just live peacefully for the rest of my life. But then what happens? You cannot live peacefully because old age brings a lot of baggage with you, disease condition, and so many other problems. You cannot live peacefully. But Prabhupada at the age of 70, he is not thinking that. He was quite well situated in the lotus feet of Sri Radha Damodar in the temple in Vrindavan. He said, no. I cannot just sit back and look at the people in this world suffer. I want to give them something which will give them opportunity to rise from this bondage. So Prabhupada, on the instructions of his guru, he left India and came to America and he started preaching. Now can you imagine if I ask all of you? So today is Saturday, the 7th of October. 8th, Sunday is the holiday. Monday morning on the 9th, all of you, please go outside and start a new business, new venture. No associates, no money. Can you do it? Can anyone start a new business without any support or any money? You cannot. Prabhupada went to America. No money, no support. And all he had was 40 rupees. Which is not worth much in those days. Today if you take 100,000 rupees outside of India and you go to any country, you say, what is this? This is paper. No value. You give them dollars, euros. Yes, print. Exchange rate is good. But Prabhupada didn't have. But Prabhupada said, I have my Guru in my heart, I have Bhagavatam, I have Bhagavad Gita, and I have Krishna with me. And with that, he went under a tree and started with Kartal. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And this Prabhupada chanting Hare Krishna under a tree. And all these curious people outside walking around the park. Who is this old man? What is this strange thing he's doing? So they all gather around to see strange old man chanting this mantra which they don't even understand anything about the mantra. But they see this very sincere elderly person chanting. Out of curiosity, they want to see what is there. So they all gather around. And when there's a big crowd, Prabhupada will fold and says, thank you very much for coming. I have come to show you something very important. I have come to give you something that you have forgotten. You have forgotten God. I have come to remind you of God. And then of course these people were asking questions, and then rest I advise you to read Lila Amrita, where you will find out the transcendental establishment of this institute called Iskcon, International Society of Krishna Consciousness. The point is that by mercy of Prabhupada, he went around and he gave everybody this mercy of Krishna. So, Prabhupada gave this opportunity of Krishna consciousness to everyone, and we are so fortunate that today we are bearing the fruits of that. Now can you imagine if Prabhupada did not go to America, and he did not come to Kenya, and specifically as Anand Prabhu was saying, he came to Mombasa, and he really liked Mombasa, and he said Mombasa is like Vaikuntha. Now, of course, Prabhupada was seeing a different vision. He was actually seeing this beautiful place as Vaikuntha. But now it is our duty to make this place Vaikuntha. And how we can make this place Vaikuntha? Is by change of our consciousness. And our consciousness is pure, then this place will become Vaikuntha. Already, by the efforts of the devotees, this brick and mortar building, what we call temple, is Vaikuntha. Why? Because in this place, we have Rukmini Dwarkadis residing here, we have Sitaram, we have Gaudidai. So you have Dwarka, you have Ayodhya, and you have Navadip. And then here, you have Prabhupada, who is the servant of the Lordship. And that makes Vaikuntha. And when we come here, we are in the transcendental Vaikuntha. Now you can live in Vaikuntha, or you can bring your outside consciousness here, and you can still be in Vaikuntha and still not feel the vibes of Vaikuntha, because your consciousness is elsewhere. So it is very important that we take to this process of Krishna consciousness very seriously. And Krishna says very clearly that if you take this process very clearly, you will be the beneficiary of this transcendental journey and be successful at the end. But that is not all, because we cannot be selfish and greedy. So what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying? Sartha kari karo paropkar. So when we become perfect, then it is our duty to make others perfect. And in the Bhagavad Gita, in the concluding chapter, Krishna says, "There is none more dear to me than one who preaches this message to uplift the fallen souls of this universe." This is our duty. But of course, if you don't read Bhagavad Gita, then you will not be able to speak about Bhagavad Gita. If you can't speak about Bhagavad Gita, what are you going to tell the other person? And then where is the question of you becoming pure, or Sartha kari karo, how you can perfect? Perfection comes there. You have time for a few minutes? Or finish? Yeah. Okay. So we'll leave for another stories for another time. Thank you very much for your kind attention. I hope that this evening has brought a lot of pleasure of entertainment, spiritual entertainment, and you will go back with a lot of food for thought and take this process very seriously. Hare Krishna. Yeah, thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Sri Rukmini Dwarkadis ki jai, Sri Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai, Sri Sri Gauranita ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanand.
Hare Krishna. We are very grateful to Maharaj. His only days are Vyodhar Maharaj, very senior disciple of Sri Prabhupada. So Maharaj has explained very nicely this drama. So now theory, I have seen the practical. You keep everything in your mind and chant Hare Krishna. So in appreciation of Maharaj, we should chant once Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And also our wonderful devotees, they have come from the Bhaktivedanta manner, so we also chant for them. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So tomorrow also we have the program, the evening, same like today. Tomorrow also after the Gaurarti there will be another drama. So you can come, and all this drama is very meaningful and deep philosophy behind this drama, and it is played by these very senior devotee, Dwarika, Puri, Prabhu, Brahmachari, many years like Maharaj saying, all Sankirtan Prabhu, all are very senior devotee, and they have dedicated their life for the service of the Prabhupada and Krishna. So we'll see tomorrow also drama. So 7 o'clock there will be Aarti, after Aarti there will be the drama, and after drama there will be prasad for all of you. So please come. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Shri Prabhupada ki.
If you have appreciation of what we have done in our efforts this evening, then please go and tell your friends that you will have a wonderful time when you come back tomorrow with your friends. That way you will be doing your service for Krishna, to bring them to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.